Hey guys, it's Gail with Everything Nash here with Scott Hamilton. I think in 16 years of doing this job, I don't think I've ever interviewed an Olympian before.
Well, it's about time.
Right?
I mean, why would you exclude Olympians? They're nice people. They work really hard.
They do work really hard. Actually, I passed you also. My husband and I were at the Michael W. Smith concert a couple months ago, which was so good.
Oh, at Allen Arena?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I said, oh, I want to interview him sometime. And then your sweet people reached out to me, so here we are.
Yay. I'm glad.
But we're not here just to talk about Olympics. I want to talk about the benefit that's coming up. But first of all, can you just tell us a little bit about the CARES Foundation? Because I know there's a lot of personal stories that go behind why you started that.
Yeah, well, it's actually 44 years and about 4 months ago, I lost my mom to breast cancer. And she was a center of my universe, and it just devastated me. So I decided that morning that I lost her, that I was going to do two things. One, I was going to work to be the person that she always thought I could be. And that changed everything as far as my skating results and my ability to kind of step into the moment. And the other side of it was I was going to fund research, because I figured, she really worked hard to adopt me as a baby and looked after me and sacrificed for me. And if I could find a cure for her form of cancer through raising money for research, then I'll, basically it's kind of that I'll know why I was born type of thing, right? So 20 years after I lost her, and after 20 years of fundraising and doing, shows and events and trying to raise money for research, I was diagnosed with cancer about 2 months shy of the 20th anniversary of losing her. And it was frightening. And it was, of course, nobody wants that diagnosis. But it was an odd thing that my mom sort of came back, and she was, just the way she went through her cancer is just sort of the way I was to go through mine. And that was joyfully and, fascinated, and to not allow cancer to interrupt my life so much. So in my 4 months of intense chemotherapy and then a 38 staple surgery, I got back to life, and I decided to get to work, and we founded the CARES Initiative at the Cleveland Clinic. It was a fundraising arm of their development thing. And we were able to raise, I don't know, $30-40 million. I mean, it was crazy how much money we raised in Cleveland. And then it became like almost apparent that if I were ever to grow, and if I were ever going to be able to, raise money in a bigger capacity, that I needed to be an independent foundation. So it's a longer story, but it's all God, that really allowed for us to launch into the CARES Foundation, where we pretty much put our stake in the ground that we want to change the way people are treated for cancer forever. I'm here 25 years later because of chemotherapy, and I can't wait to get rid of it. Like there's, our bodies create the cancer. Our bodies should be able to detect and destroy the cancer. I mean, right now while we're talking, our bodies are finding, our immune systems are finding broken and damaged cells and discarding them, getting rid of them. So if we can teach the body to recognize the cancer as something that doesn't belong there, then our bodies and our immune systems can eradicate the cancer. We won't have to go through these harsh treatments. But in my battle, I went on the internet to try to figure out, what's testicular cancer. And I found medical journal papers with 12-syllable words. And it's like, it's not fair that I'm sick and too stupid to be sick, right? So then I go, okay, note to self. And then I wanted to quit after round 3. And I didn't know about a lot of the post-op stuff that I needed to know. And I realized that doctors, they have a broad bandwidth, but they could only offer so much. And so that was another note to self. So 2 of the first things we did when I started working in the CARES Initiative was to build a website called chemocare.com. And chemocare.com is really cool because it's everything about chemotherapy. It's how it's administered, every single drug listed, and along with the side effects. And then there's a whole other section of how to manage the side effects, all written in 8th grade English and Spanish. So you don't need to worry about being too dumb to be sick anymore, right? And with Google Translate, any language in the world. So chemo care, we thought if we did 3 million hits a year, that'd be really great. Last I checked, which was probably about 5 years ago, they were doing well over 3 million hits a month, unique hits, and it's become this resource that's just, it's so perfect, and it's so well constructed and thought out that it's become the resource for people that are about to step into a chemotherapy experience. So that check. And then the other part of it, well, what do I do about wanting to quit and not understanding what I was about to, like when I talked to my doctor about cancer, he said, no, you're probably gonna, chemo is probably gonna make you ill. And I go, well, how sick am I gonna be? And he said, well, moderate to severe. And I go, what does moderate to severe feel like, look like? And he goes, moderate to severe, so there was nothing really, because the doctors prescribe it, but not many of them have actually done it, right? So they've seen it, but they've not done it. So I realized there was a real need to create a pathway where survivors could be paired with newly diagnosed patients, and they could work as role models and life coaches, not medical advice, because that, you have to become your own kind of advocate when you go through cancer. But it's about really knowing that this person that you're speaking to right now is on the other side of what you're about to go through. And it's an amazing relationship. We expanded that to caregivers and then to pediatric caregivers as well, because it's such a unique, thing to experience and endure, that you need people there to shore you up. And so Fourth Angel started growing so fast, because the first angel, basically fourth angel, okay. First angel is your oncologist, your second angel is your oncology nurse, your third angel is your friends and family. What was missing was the fourth angel, and that was someone who's been there, done that. So Fourth Angel Mentoring Program is doing this. Like, as soon as somebody's been mentored, they want to become a mentor, and caregivers and pediatric caregivers. And it's just doing this. I'm even afraid to check in on that now, because I know it's become really hard to manage, but it's like a great problem to have. And then on the other side was, drug discovery and research to try to figure out not just, drug discovery, but also, what does a body go through when it goes through chemotherapy? What is chemo brain? We had one research program that happened, I was at Cleveland, where they proved chemo brain, and they were one of 5 presenters at the big oncology conference, like the big one in the world. So we've had some really good home runs. And then the research that we're funding now, which is purely towards immunotherapy, is to teach our bodies how to destroy the cancer. So we're enthused. We launched this basic identity 7 years ago, and it's funny that the first immunotherapy drug didn't come out until 5 years ago. So we were 2 years ahead of the curve. And then James P. Allison, who's been doing immunotherapy research for decades, was given the Nobel Prize for Medicine in his work for immunotherapy for cancer. So we know it's the future, and we know in many respects it's happening now. So it's much less destructive. There's not as much collateral damage, to the body when you don't have to go through chemo or radiation. And we're really excited about the possibilities of teaching our bodies how to destroy the cancer. And in that, we don't have to worry about now all these new issues. Like what I was told, I said, am I going to be able to get back to my normal capacity? And they said, well, maybe, but you have to understand, like in 20 years, things are going to start maybe unraveling a little bit. So you should probably know that, going, and it's like, well, I need to live now, so I'll take the now. But I'm now 25 years out, and I'm still able to live my life the way I want to. So it's, I think a lot of it is kind of how you respond to the chemo, and how you shore yourself up and are physical and are moving and active. And I think that's been the best thing to allow my body to heal and prevent long-term disaster.
So talk about this event. This is your 5th event at Bridgestone, am I correct?
Yeah, fifth event here in Nashville. It's the 26th one I produced.
Okay. And this is honoring somebody who's so precious to this community, Busby, who passed away from glioblastoma. Lady A, I'm not going to be able to name all of them. Lady A, CC Winans, for King and Country, bunch of Olympic skaters. Talk about
Well,
this.
don't forget Maren Morris and Grace Potter.
Don't forget
Exactly.
Maren Morris and Grace Potter, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, you
no, I mean, it's,
you're kind of like aiming low here.
It's like we're going to church and we're going to have country music and we're going to have rock music. And, it's just this multi-genre kind of wonderful evening. And it's really meant to, if someone watching this has never been to one of our shows, it's like, it's truly sensory overload. We turned Bridgestone Arena. Thank you, Sean Henry. I love Sean Henry. He gives us the building every year. We take the glass out, right? So there's no obstruction. The boards are there to keep pucks, kind of in play. So we cover the boards, and then we put seats down all the way to the ice. And the band is on a riser about that high. So everybody's at ice level, and it's so intimate, and if you've never seen skating live before, so you've got this explosive athletic speed and performance happening on this surface of ice. It's just mind-boggling that people with knives strapped to their feet are able to do the things that they're able to do on these things. And then you've got the live music component, which is artists that you love and you've grown used to, all performing with these skaters at the same time. And it's like, when Vince Gill did my show in Cleveland years ago, after the fourth song, he goes, "Hey, y'all, I just want to tell you one thing. This by far is the most ignored I've ever been in my whole career." And it's not that he was just joking around, because, it's like this gigantic movement that's happening in front of the stage, and you'll watch the music and watch the skater and listen to the music and listen to the skater, and just that marriage of music and movement is really remarkable. And for our sponsors, if somebody out there wants to come on and buy a table at the dinner afterwards, they get preferred seating at the ice show. Please reach out to us at scottcares.org, and we'd really love your support. So we're still trying to fill up the not only Bridgestone Arena but our dinner afterwards. And if people want to join us, there's varying levels of sponsorship, each with different inventory that we can bless you with this event and make things really wonderful and special. So we're really just trying to raise as much money as we can to honor Busby. Jesse, his wife, has partnered with us this year and has really been great at artist outreach and really helping us find his voice and his message, and to dedicate his life towards finding a solution to this horrible problem called glioblastoma multiforme. There are no survival rates. It's that devastating, and it's fast. For him, it was really fast. It was just like bam, from diagnosis to succumbing. It was just like 9 weeks and a day, something. So it's aggressive, and we need to do something, and we just can't sit by and not do anything. There's 69 human beings an hour dying of cancer in this country. And each one of those individual people are leaving behind families that love them. And some of them are children. And it's just, it's awful. And, you think of 1,660 people a day, and this is every day. And this is like year after year after year. We've been so consumed by this global pandemic that, some of the other illnesses that are crushing our families and our communities, they're just going on unchecked. And so we remain at work, we remain vigilant, we remain steadfast in our belief that our bodies are designed to adjust to viruses, and there are those that are really going to have to be careful around the COVID-19 and now the variant viruses. But, most of us, can survive. This cancer thing So 1 out of 3 men and 1 out of 4 women will be diagnosed with cancer. 1 of 4 of those won't be successful in their journey. So the numbers, just the numbers, you know, we have to do what's right, but we also can't take our eyes off something that is an enormous problem in our world. We got to fix it. And we got to come together to do it.
How involved are you in the process of picking the artists and picking who's going to be part of the events? Are you really hands-on with that, or how does that work?
Yeah, I'm always like hat in hand, you know, kind of reaching out to people to see if they'll do it. It's funny, one of our artists I reached out to a few years ago, and it just wasn't right. You know, they're on tour and they're just, you know, other artists, you know, it's either a birthday or they're, you know, it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, so they're traveling. So I'm always kind of like, hey, will you do this? And it's funny how this year, just Busby, simply Busby, Jesse reached out to his artists and they said 100% I'll be there, you know? And so, you know, we reached out to Cece. She never worked with Busby, but, you know, I really, the faith component to me in every walk of life is extremely important. And so to have that represented with Cece and with King and Country, who did work with Busby, and they're amazing. I'm so excited to have a multi-genre kind of eclectic show and just put it together and just watch it skate and just see the excitement in people's eyes when they experience all of this. It's so unique and it's so remarkable that you know, everybody really needs to get behind this.
Okay, so before I let you go, I want to hear about anything else that is happening in Scott Hamilton's world. I know you do speaking. I know you have written a bunch of.
Well, I used to do speaking, but there's no meetings anymore. Well, now I'm able to be home and work on all this other stuff. You know, yeah, the speaking is something I love. I just, there's something about it that's just connecting with people in a really fun, unique, intimate way is just something that I just love doing. Broadcasting has changed a little bit. So that isn't quite in front of me like it used to be. Just because, you know, it's time to go young, new, hip, cool, all that stuff. But, you know, I got the skating academies that I work with the Nashville Predators. And again, you know, it's just so much of this as, you know, Sean Henry and his team, you know, they gift us the building for the November show, and I gift them all the name, likeness, and everything else, and my vision for how to build skating and the Fordyce Centers. And it's been really exciting to see that start to grow and turn into something really wonderful, big, and awesome. And we just need to keep bringing people onto the ice with us because we have more fun than anybody else. So that's been great. And I got 4 kids, 3 of them are still at home. And, you know, we're just doing life, and it's, you know, it's fun and complicated and hilarious and, you know, and difficult and, you know, all those things that come with family, but we're doing the best we can. And it's been really amazing to just love this community and to grow in faith in this community and serve it as best I can. And you know, I'm just so grateful for every opportunity.
Okay, last question, because I promised your people I'd get you out on time. With all that you have been through and all that this world has gone through, what is your message for people who are just really struggling right now? Do you have any words that you would offer them?
Get strong. So, and that's a recent message. It's like every day is what you make it. When my mom went through chemotherapy, she would say, "Oh, this chemotherapy, I finally found a way to lose all this weight. Oh, I love chemo. I've wanted to quit smoking all these years. Now I have no desire. Oh, this chemo is awesome. My hair has always been so ugly and difficult. These wigs are so beautiful and they're so much easier." So it's kind of like that. It so much is how you respond to something, right? And what power you give it over you. So when I was going through cancer, I was fascinated. My nurse treated me like an 8-year-old. It was so much fun. And I made sure everybody made me laugh. So, you know, there are equal parts of really getting information from a lot of different sources, that's really important, because if it's only from one source, you're only hearing one side of the story. And now with our media, it's also opinion kind of driven. And so we want to make sure that we understand everything that's going around in our communities so we don't feel so desperate. But I'll go back to the Get Strong thing. My brain tumor came in 2004, radiation, 2010, a surgery that became 9 more. And so when it came back in 2016, they were giving me my options, and all I felt was get strong. That's it. Just get strong. And so I had to think about that. And it was like, get strong. Is that physical or emotional or intellectual or spiritual? How do I get strong? And the answer was all the above. And when I started working out more, when I started being more interested in creating more joy in my life, and when I started being more interested intellectually in learning about things, and when I really started getting more into the Word, everything changed. My tumor actually started to shrink, and no one could figure out how and why. And it's that idea that we shore ourselves up, we eat the right foods, we exercise, we keep our weight down, we do all the things that allow our bodies to thrive. And then we keep our minds really active. We are interested in things. We want to learn, we want to grow, we want to be happy with ourselves, and at the same time understand where it all comes from. And once I got into that kind of 4-pillared approach to life, things have changed drastically. I don't worry about things. Like, I don't worry about COVID in a way that I get, if I get COVID, I get COVID. I'm not going to like hazmat myself, put the suit on, hazmat suit, and kind of like go out in public. I'm going to make reasonable, responsible choices, and I'm going to try to protect the people around me. And that's the best I can do. Right. So I see, so much fear, right? Weaponized fear. And I see so much, kind of chaos, that I just really want people to get strong, just sort of like calm down and just focus and really shore yourself up. There's a reason they tell you to put the mask on your face before your children. So if you're no good, they got no chance. So stepping into that has been a real upgrade for me. It's been like this powerful thing where I've avoided any treatment for 5 years on this brain tumor. And I've been able to live life and put on muscle and do things that I've never been able to do at this age, really. And it's kind of great just to kind of go, nope, I own and operate this thing. All right. I'm not gonna, no, I do this. So it's on me to be able to get strong and just rise up and live my life joyfully, productively, abundantly, and in faith.
I love it. I also couldn't believe when I saw today, you're 63. That just boggles my mind. Like, in my mind, that's really 40. So,
well, when you see, like, if someone, like, let's just say I were to fill out an application for health insurance and they were to read everything that I've been through, they're probably going to look for cameras thinking they've been punked or something. Like, really? I'm supposed to process this thing, right? No, it's just choices, and I'm not perfect. No one is. Jesus was, but no one else is, right? So it just turns into this thing of, you just get strong. Just shore yourself up, work out, make good choices, be interested in other people, love yourself, and love the Lord. And everything changes. Like, a lot of this stuff just doesn't take on the same identity that it has for the last 18 months. You can step into joy and comfort in life and confidence that you're going to be fine no matter what, because you're stronger and more in touch than you've ever been. It's kind of cool. So that would be my advice to anyone, right? Get strong. Just get strong.
Good words. And good to see you. I hope we get to talk again sometime. Now I can say
I add
Olympians to my list.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Scott. Appreciate your time.
All right.
Have a great day.